get out of HR, get out of L&D and get into the business. And then when you come back, you will be respected and be much more able to really do business appropriate activities. Because on paper, everything looks good, but in practice, nearly everything is different.
Welcome to the Rogue L&D Hot Shots podcast, a short podcast allowing you to meet some of the brilliant folk driving people performance and development forward in an informal and human way. My name's Tom Bailey, award-winning L&D leader and passionate maverick for all things development. Join me as I ask just 10 questions of some of the industry's most innovative and interesting people. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, so my name's Dirk Rossi. I am from Belgium originally, and I have been blessed with what I would call an international career. I have lived and worked in 9 countries, and my definition of living and working means at least 6 months in your own place, right? So, and I have been also fortunate enough to be the regional head of a number of big companies. The biggest one was JP Morgan. I was the head of learning and development for JP Morgan for Asia Pacific. And then also more recently, I have been the CHRO for a Dubai holding company for 2 years, guided them through the GFC. Many stories to tell. I had to fire 5,000 people and close down the company. Was the last employee. And then I've come back to Australia and became a sort of a private equity. Now I'm a director of the company. I've been working with private equity for the last, 13 years.
What are you passionate about?
Business results, right? So, and we'll come back to that hopefully a bit later, but I believe that HR in general and L&D in specific are very good at mouthing that they are business oriented, but they're not. So I've always made it a obsession to be as business oriented as I can, and B, to help people, especially in L&D and also, if possible, in the HR space, to become more business-oriented. That's my absolute passion.
What's the best L&D you've seen?
I've done a number of projects, assignments, activities, and I've been in L&D for 30 years. So the most outstanding one would be a thing that's called Project Panter, where I was asked to work with an external consultant, Kubus and Labyrinth, to reduce the working capital in 75 companies around the world, and do that in a project management way. And so my role was to be the stakeholder manager, the person that made everything happen. And then I had a technical expert with me who did all the sort of the financial things. But I got to learn a lot about finance, about working capital in a number of industries. And that was by far the best campaign because it was exceptionally successful.
Favorite hand gesture?
This one. But I have a story, and it's an interesting story. I have been divorced. And so after my wife divorced me, and for 1 year I stayed in the same house. And I would walk around like this with my hand in my pocket all the time. And it was pandemonium. It was not good. So then I changed one evening and I put like this in my pocket. That's all I did. Nothing else. I put this sign in my pocket, and I'm not saying all of a sudden everything changed, but all of a sudden everything changed. And the world became a calmer place, and instead of being aggressive and negative, we came to an agreement to the extent that we used the same lawyer to solve our problems. So that was a major, and I'm not sure if it's the hand gesture, but I think it is a lot to do with it.
One thing you didn't learn?
For the last 30 years, people say, Dirk, you need to learn how to listen and not interrupt people. So I get so excited and my ADHD takes over, and then I am not a good listener. And that's something that, of course, I'm better now than I was before, but it's still something that I think I need to learn.
Proudest moment?
I was part of a team and was given the Change Management Award for managing the change process of a major merger in Asia between JP Morgan, Jardine Fleming, Ord Minnett, and a few other banks. And so that award was given on the back of a number of creative ideas that I introduced, which were very, very successful.
Worst experience in L&D?
So my worst experience was when I was with JP Morgan. At the end of my career with JP Morgan, the then head of HR wanted me to be much more involved in HR-only activities. And I wanted to be more to the business, with the business. And so that came to a clash where I lost, and that person fired me. But then, funnily enough, the day after I was fired, all the business heads came together and decided to put a pot of money together where they would rehire me for the same amount of money of 75% of my time to then run all the programs with them without having to bother with approval from HR, which was fantastic.
Best celebrity moment?
It's not really a story. I ran into somebody. I ran into James Brown in Hong Kong. No, in Japan. I was standing outside a hotel and a limousine comes up. 3 amazingly beautiful women walk out, and then behind it James Brown. And I'm a fan of James Brown, and I'm just going, I have seen deity, right? I mean, he was fantastic, but nothing, no wave, nothing, just he walked into the hotel and I waited for the next taxi. So,
something you believed but nobody else did?
The example that I gave about the healthcare companies is related to that, to do Cassandra emails. Now, Cassandra is a goddess of Greek mythology who was gifted with the ability to look ahead, but cursed with the curse of not being listened to. So you sit there and you see, this is going to happen. So I would send emails and say, in 6 months' time, this is going to happen. Or, if we don't do this, then that is likely to happen. And then I didn't make it fun by then saying 6 months later, here, I told you that would happen. I didn't do the I told you email, but I always would be known for sending Cassandra emails of, this is what's going to happen. I see this not going right. Please, let's do something about it. But it doesn't always work. And the worst case was this most recent one, because I really knew what should happen.
Best advice?
I'm at the end of my career. I've done things. I've achieved a number of things that I feel quite proud of. But I've been able to do that because circumstantially I've been thrown into all kinds of directions. I've run a company, I've run divisions, I've done. My best advice would be, get out of HR, get out of L&D and get into the business. And then when you come back, you will be respected and be much more able to really do business appropriate activities. Because on paper, everything looks good, but in practice, nearly everything is different. So get out there, do something different, go into sales, go into finance, just do something. And always put your hand up to do consulting assignments. If somebody says we need a volunteer to help with that project, put up your hand.
Thank you to our guest and to you for listening. If you want to boost the impact of your organisation's people development practices, I'd love to connect. You can find me at thomasbailey.co. Alternatively, you can look me up on LinkedIn.